It's Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime. I'm Maddie Swan. This is my husband Bill.
Hello.
Together we form the Bildie. A terrifying creature that is two humans combined, like melted cheese, and it's probably all drippy and weird.
It definitely is all drippy. Not probably. It's definitely all drippy and weird.
I've had a brandy hot toddy, so I'm just out of control at the moment, aren't I?
Yes, and what time is it?
10:38
AM.
It's New Year's.
It's New Year's. It's 10:38 AM.
It's New Year's, as I said.
Yes, tomorrow.
It's a celebration. Yes, we're on Christmas holidays. So, I'm going to tell my husband, make up a story on the spot, and then he is going to do the same, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
So, give me a character name.
Gerald.
Gerald. And what's Gerald like?
He's quite old, but not really. He's not geriatric.
Right. So he's Gerald, the not quite geriatric.
Yeah, he's not octogenarian.
Right. He's maybe 70 or something.
No, he's more like, I'd say he's 60.
Maybe 65.
Maybe if you want him to be 65.
He's 65.
I'd allow that.
Okay. What's he like?
He is very organised.
He's very organised.
Yeah,
okay.
He's almost OCD, but not really.
Okay. Right, so...
He's on the spectrum of that.
Of OCD, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gerald has a friend, and the friend is constantly messing Gerald about because Gerald likes to know exactly what's happening at what time, where he's going, and he likes to know how his day is going to be. And in his head, he knows that he's seeing his friend Terry.
Yep.
Terry and Jerry.
Yep.
They've been friends for many, many years, and Terry's great, but Terry is really disorganised.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
So
Gerald struggles with that.
Yeah, so Gerald just assumes that they're going to meet in the usual place, which is the Rose and Crown pub.
Yeah, I assumed it was a pub. It'd be weird if it was... if it was the local
nursery.
Library.
A nursery.
A nursery, yeah. They're going to meet at the nursery.
Or kindergarten.
They're going to meet at the kindergarten called the Rose and Crown.
Yeah. They're just going to start drinking in front of the kids. Yeah. Anyway, so he gets a text message from Terry saying, "Oh, yeah, you know that we were going to meet there. Well, sorry, SRY, am at Nigel's."
Oh.
And Gerald's like, "Oh,
Terry,
well, I don't know where Nigel is."
Yeah.
So he says, "Well, where are you?" And he says, "Well, it's over the rainbow, round Fannies Gardens,
Yep,
and through the troll tunnel, and you'll probably find it." And Gerald's like, "Right." So he gets in his car, and he thinks, "Over the rainbow? How am I supposed to get over the rainbow?" It's because it was raining and it was sunny, so
yeah.
he was able to get to the rainbow.
Has he got red
he
shoes
could see
on?
it. No, he didn't have any red shoes. That was the concern.
Yeah.
So he Googled how to get over the rainbow, and it said you've got to wish really hard, and then turn left at the roundabout.
Yeah.
So he got into his very sensible car, drove down the road, and wished really hard. He thought about going to see Terry, and he thought, I just really want to see my friend. I want to get this out of the way. Come on. So he turned left at the roundabout, and the rainbow was just right in front of him. So he drove up. Like those, what are they called? Those like bridges that go up. You drive up them. It sort of goes.
Oh, round in a circle.
No. They go up off the ground and they take you up over like loads of traffic and that.
Yeah, a bridge.
A bridge?
It's just
Is it just called a bridge?
I think so.
Right, okay.
It might not be like a motorway bridge or flyover.
Yeah, so it's like a flyover, but there's just loads of colours on it. Obviously, it's a rainbow. And the people surrounding him are slightly different to the ones who had just been on the road. There was a weird blue person, and there was someone with several heads. There was someone with wings and 18 mouths. So he thought, well, I'm certainly not in Kansas anymore. And then he thought, well, I wasn't in Kansas originally. I was in Luton.
I was going to say, yeah, would they have a rose and crown in Kansas? I don't know.
They did not have a rose and crown. Oh, they might. Who knows?
Well, I've never been there.
So he thinks, well, I guess I'm on the right track. Everything's fine. Oh, bloody Terry, why have you got to send me all round this goose chase?
All round the houses.
All round the houses and over the rainbow and back again.
Yeah.
So then he thinks, I've got to look out for Fannies Gardens.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the first clue what Fannies Gardens is or what it looks like. But as he drives along the rainbow, avoiding the tiny gremlin who tries to drive in front of him, he notices a signpost and it says Fanny Square Gardens.
Right, it's the way he pronounces it.
Yeah, it's and he thinks Fanny Square. Surely that can't be Fanny Square, can it? So he consults his. He keeps one eye on the road and one eye on his phone, which is he's got up on the telling you where you are thing on the windscreen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
like a GPS. He's got one eye on that.
He's got his phone like it's in the holder.
Yeah.
So he's pressing buttons, and then he says into the voice thing, I don't even know if this is going to know what Fanny Square Gardens is or anything, because I've never heard of it. So he just says Fanny Square Gardens into the thing, like the voice thing.
Yeah.
And it says Fanny Square Gardens, 3 miles, turn right.
Oh, so it understood his mispronunciation. So it is Fannies Gardens.
Yes.
It's just spelt Fanny Square.
Fannies Gardens.
Yeah. But it's spelt
Fanny Square.
FANNYSQUARDENS.
Why is it? Why on earth is it spelt like that and pronounced like that? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So he continues on his way, and then he turns right and sees a like a park. And it's got loads of seats, and he thinks those seats look really weird. And as he drives nearer, he realises why. Like the actual fannies, and I mean like the UK fanny, which is a genital region.
Vagina.
A vagina, yes. And
we're adults here.
Yes. I don't know why. I don't know. I go all coy for some reason. Yeah, it's a vagina. Okay, so he drives past. He has to drive past Fannies Gardens.
Yeah.
And he sees that all these weird and wonderful people are kind of like sitting around on these vaginas, just having cups of tea, having a chat, sharing lunch, etc.
Are they square, the fannies?
No, the park is a square.
Okay.
It's a square, and the fannies are in them.
Yeah.
So he thinks, oh my God, is this where I'm supposed to be meeting them? Have I got to sit on a vagina? How would that even work? And because he notices that they're quite soft and springy, like a person goes to sit on them and they sort of squish down quite far,
Yeah.
But
they're quite comfortable, really.
Yeah, they sound quite comfortable. And the GPS tells him, no, you've got 2 miles left to go, and then you have reached your destination. So he thinks, well, this is very helpful GPS. It's much more helpful than it is back on Earth,
Yeah.
And he continues, and it says, you must reach the black hole at which all time and thought ends, and then you will have reached your destination. So he turns right and then arrives at this small hole in the ground, and he parks the car, gets out, goes over to the hole, which is sort of in the middle of another sort of, it looks a little bit like a car park. It's not, it doesn't look great, and he goes in and he thinks, God, this this doesn't look. There's nowhere to sit. You know, what are they thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. Why not meet in Fannies Gardens?
Yeah.
With
So he
comfortable
goes.
chairs.
Yeah. So he goes over to the hole where all time and thought ends, and then he notices a little signpost sort of down in the hole,
Yeah.
and it says, "Go down the stairs." And he's a bit worried because he doesn't want to get sucked out into the universe or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's his palms are sweaty, his heart's beating fast.
Yeah,
He's never
okay.
experienced
Yeah.
anything like this before, and he goes hesitantly down the first few steps. Nothing terrible happens, but he is surrounded by a whole like whistling void. You know.
A whistling void.
Yeah, a whistling void. It's
whistling void.
you know, it's like all spinning round him, and it's really intense.
It's like nothing that's going.
Yeah.
Like windy, really.
Like a howling nothingness.
Right. Yeah.
And he thinks this is not this doesn't feel very safe. So he just sort of keeps his head down, and
Like
then
a black hole crossed with a postman in the morning.
yeah, whistling.
A whistling void.
A whistling void. Yes, exactly.
It's like a postman's mated with a black hole, and then what comes out is a
void.
whistling void.
So he continues down, and he's shaking by now. And then he sees another sign that says Nigel's. So he knocks on the door.
Where's his car at the moment? It's up.
He's parked it back up
Parked it,
in the car park.
So you can't hear that now. So you've arrived
No.
at your destination.
No, he's on his own. He's
Yeah.
just got to do it all himself. So he arrives. He knocks on Nigel's door, and he's a bit worried about what he's going to find.
He's probably really stressed if he's this kind of organised kind of guy.
Yes, this is way out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So he knocks on the door, and then some bloke answers, and he says, "Oh right, you must be Gerald." And he says, "Yep, are you Nigel?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then behind him, Terry appears, and Gerald says, "Oh, thank goodness." And then they all have a cup of tea.
Oh, so they have a nice time.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Okay, that was a good story.
Thanks.
Okay. Pick a name for my character.
Florellarington.
Can it be a shorter name? Can it be shortened?
No, she's known as Flo.
Flo.
But it's Florellarington.
What is it?
Florellarington.
Florellarington.
Yeah.
Florellarington.
Yeah.
That's a difficult name.
Just say Flo.
Flo. Okay, and what's she like?
Gets confused easily, but that's because she always has loads to do. So she, she tries to keep organised, but it's difficult.
Okay.
And she sort of gets a bit lost in it all, confused,
Okay, now, she's strange, Flo. In that, as far back as she can remember,
yes,
which was probably about 7, everyone thought she was amazing. And she knew that she wasn't. But everyone thought she was a genius, and she was basically like a goddess. Yeah, so she would paint, and immediately everyone would say, "Oh my God, it's like the Mona Lisa," and it would sell. At the age of 7, she sold a painting for £500,000 to the Tate.
Yeah.
And all it was a crayon line.
Right. Yeah.
So this is why she's a bit confused and all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever she does something, it's like, everyone thinks she's amazing. As she gets older, this keeps happening, and she starts to revel in it, really. And she beats the world championship at chess. But she doesn't know how to play chess.
She doesn't know how to play.
No.
Right.
So she just moves a piece randomly, and everyone cheers, and the chess championship, like, storms off in a huff, and she goes, and then she goes, that's how you checkmate someone, and she's really getting into it, you know.
So she talks like an 80s.
She talks
character.
like, yeah, and she's also an alcoholic, yeah.
Right.
So she's like this troubled genius alcoholic.
I'm kind of
like a proper cliche.
Is she anything at all like the lady in the Queen's Gambit?
She's a bit like, yeah, but not just that.
Yeah.
She plays the stock market.
Yeah.
She's basically the genius of the world.
So her talent really is being able to guess things really well.
Yes, but I don't think it's even that. I think what it is that everyone else is sort of unaware that they're in some kind of weird world where she's the centre, and everyone else just assumes that whatever she's doing is the best.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not even that she's actually winning at chess. Everyone just thinks that she's won.
Yeah, and because she sold the painting initially at 6, which was a crown draw line.
Yeah.
You know, it's progressed, so everyone almost like assumes that what she's going to do is going to win anyway, and they're so kind of like expecting it that they just accept it.
So it's like, what is that thing called? When
positive reinforcement,
something like it's something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's also just a weird world as well. You know. I'm not sure how it works. It just does. It's just how it is, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably what's driven her to drink. But it kind of fits into that narrative of the troubled genius, you know. So she's always like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like to be a tortured artist." And then she throws a bottle of vodka through a window, and everyone says it's like the new Banksy, you know. And people are trying to copy it and throwing bottles of vodka through windows.
Yeah.
But all that happens is they get arrested. Whereas when she does it, it's worth.
It's an artwork.
It's another artwork, and this is just troubling her really, because she can't escape it. Whatever she does is, you know, so she goes to the local pub and, like, in anger, she sort of hitches up her skirt and does a poo on the floor. And everyone just stands up and applauds and goes, yes. And she goes, no, you don't understand. And then she just sort of, you know, reads a poem, but it's just all, like,
gobbledygook.
She's just going, I'm really stupid. You're all shit. You don't understand. And then you know, someone says, do you mind if I put that in the New York Times? And it becomes the bestseller, and she just can't escape it. Yeah, whatever she does.
Oh, what a trauma.
It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah. You would have terrible imposter syndrome, though.
She's got billions of pounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's one night she walks out of a mansion and she's going for a stroll, and you know the normal people are coming past going, oh my god, look how she walks. She's one leg after the other. I've never seen it done so well. And she's like, oh, give me a break. Like, this is getting ridiculous. This is actually getting ridiculous. And then she walks past this homeless man on the side, and she does a little dance for him, because she thinks, oh, you cheer him up.
Yeah.
And he like, isn't impressed.
No, shocking.
And she's like, what happened there? You wasn't impressed. He says, well, it was a crap dance. And she's like, what do you mean? And she can't handle it. All her life she's had everything she's done like this, and then she's like, well, he sort of is sitting there and he's practicing this chessboard thing, and she's like, well, what about if I do this? And then she like moves the chess piece.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, it doesn't move that way. You can't move a piece like that. And she's like, what do you mean? And she takes him home, says, do you want to come back to my place? Because she's intrigued by what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And
She's not under her spell.
Yes. And, you know, he bathes him and, well, he bathes himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not.
He doesn't bathe
He has
him.
got
Yeah.
capability of bathing.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah, she gives him a nice bath and you know, cooks him dinner and that, and they start chatting, and she explains what's happened, and he says, well, that is odd.
Yeah.
I mean, you clearly can't play chess.
Yeah.
He gives her a bit of paper, says, can you draw something for me? Because she sort of tells him her life story, basically, and he's asleep halfway through her life story. And he wakes up and says, this is really boring, like, and she's sort of, so she does the drawing anyway, and he says, yeah, it's rubbish. You're not good at it. You haven't, given me anything that I think you're good at, really.
Yeah.
And she finds this so liberating that she asks him to marry her.
Yeah.
And he says yes.
Yeah.
And they fall into each other's arms.
Yeah.
And live a very happy life.
Oh, so they have a marriage where he constantly criticises her. I know that on the outside.
Yes.
I know that in the outside world she has constant praise,
adoration
that's
for everything she does.
That's not warranted, really. But
well, it's the opposite. It's like everything, even if it's negative stuff.
Yeah.
Even if she punches someone in the face.
Yeah.
They will
no,
say,
I get it. Yeah. But it's just okay. No, that's.
So it's like relief to be home and for him to. He does. It's not horrible.
No, he just
really. He just tells her how it is.
Isn't good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that relationship pans out. I mean, that's
unusual.
like in the sequel. I don't know what it would be. Would she get? I don't know whether she'd get sick of him telling her the truth, or whether it would be relief, or whether he'd get jealous of all the adoration she gets when he goes out. And
what would the public think of him? Like, do they see him as like an extension of her? Like, he can't do anything wrong.
Probably because she wouldn't pick.
Or perhaps it would be like, when you get celebrity relationships where everyone decides that one half of the couple isn't good for the other one, and everyone says, "Oh, you need to get away." And
I think it would be because she wouldn't be able to do anything wrong. So even the suitor that she picks would have to be perfect in the public's eye. She's beyond a celebrity. She's like, it's almost like she's some kind of goddess or something. Yeah. So that's my story.
Oh, I liked that one. That was very good. Thank you, BB.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I'm off to eat toffee that can break your teeth off. We will see you all next week.
Yes, we will see you all next year.
We'll see you next year, that's true. Okay.
See you next year.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.